My name is Sofiane Sylve. I'm currently a principal dancer with San Francisco Ballet and a guest principal teacher of the school attached to the company. Been dancing for a very long time, and I'm very keen into being a judge today for the competition. So this is exciting times. I think the fact that Connie has been able to gather people from different places that are teaching or dancing, I think you get a vision and maybe an expertise that you may not get where you're at that very moment. So it's a very good opportunity to maybe hear different sound of voice. And I do think that's enriching in any kind of ways, because you would never get that outreach if you'd stayed home. So I think it's a great way of reaching out to new people that will give you maybe incentive and inform the way you go along with your training. Yes, I am teaching 2 masterclasses, one today with teenagers and one with older students tomorrow. So that would also be a good way to see how they are, how they behave throughout class, where they're at in their dancing, training, and the choices that they make. I think, I look at the way they present themselves, the musicality, their placement, and then the choices that they make as a repertoire is very important to me. I mean, the other thing that I'm here is also to look at talent, potential talent that the San Francisco Ballet School might be interested in. And since we have a trainee program that goes straight into the company, you want to see if there's anybody that's up to that potential. And I'm here to give out scholarships when it's the right time, right place, right age. So that's also why I'm here, and I'm being on the lookout for talent, basically. So that's what I said earlier, is trying to be in one place where there's so many kids that want to dance and see if there is somebody that you go, okay, we can maybe invest, and are they interested to do that? I think for me, what I hear most from most artistic directors today is musicality. My own personal is musicality, presentation. I think the way you present yourself is key to an audience and to a potential director that wants to hire you. I mean, can I give you the responsibility to be on that stage, giving you that part? So for me, that's the first thing I look for, and then obviously placement training, because that's going to give you longevity instead of like just running tricks and then when it burns, it's over. So I look at that deeply and understanding how the body works, and so see where they're at, and maybe also help them going, I think you could work a little bit more on this, a little bit less on that, and guide them through their career. Nothing happens unless you're dying to do it. So it starts with a very, very unquestionable passion for the arts. And for me, it was ballet. I wanted to dance. I didn't want a title. I didn't want to be in a place. I wanted to dance. So it starts with that. So I think also getting to know them and maybe getting a chance to talk to them when you see there's talent there. Do they really want to give everything to this art form? Because that's what it takes. So I think that was the first thing. And then learning along the way that your body changes and that you have to keep learning constantly. You have to reinvent yourself if you want to keep up. It's not an easy career. And so that's why I think you want to do it because you're dying to do it, really. Otherwise, it's just too hard. I think there is a physical ability. There's a mental ability. When you have somebody very young, I try to figure out is this too early? Is this maybe the right time? Because you could mess people up when it's too fast, too quickly. And then, like I said again, then it's placement, musicality, the way they present themselves, and how much do they want to do this, and is it the right time? Because that's where I find that in time, you have people that if you have the right timing, it works out, and if you don't, it can be very detrimental. I think scholarships helps anybody to have access to a big school that they may not be able to access. So that's a financial aspect, because ballet is expensive, pointers alone, ballet wear is expensive, education is expensive. And so I think giving access is one key of the scholarship. And 2, I also think that you end up being in a pool of kids that have been auditioned. So it's not just anybody that walks into the door, but all of a sudden you have people at a certain level already. So I think the competition, in a way, allows you to be a better student and a better dancer overall, because then you can compare yourself with other people coming from all over the world versus your community. So I think the accessibility is really key of a scholarship. You know, you'll have great moments, you'll have very low moments, and I think I always try to look at the side of, am I still enjoying myself out there? Am I still happy to be a performer? And I still am. But you go through periods and you have to allow yourself that it's never going to be like up, 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 up. It's going to wave, and it's just like life, and you have to remember that being a dancer is what you do, not necessarily who you are. And having a life next to what you do is very important. So reading a book, taking a walk in the park, petting a dog, or being part of the world and in the world, not be of it, I think is something that I try to also implement also in my teaching, that like you can also have a thinking process, and dance is part of what you do, but it's not going to fulfill everything eventually. So having the whole range of life is important. I think, you know, it's very hard to make it through your school years. Then once you make it to the company, you start kind of all over again. So it can be pretty grueling. But again, the price that you get being on stage and being who you wanted to be has no price for me. But yes, it's a tough career. There's much easier choices out there. But again, for me, there was never any other things I wanted to do. I missed out on a lot of things because I was not allowed, and I never missed it. So again, it really has to do with how much you want to be out there. And yeah, eventually, potentially give people 2 hours away from their lives. That's basically the ultimate goal, where they actually buy a ticket to sit down because they want to be taken away from that moment in time. So artistry is also very, very important, and I think there's nothing else out there for me that takes me to that different place. So, but definitely grueling career. It's tough. I do think that ballet requires an enormous amount of attention and dedication and hard work, but I also think that being a healthy human being next to it is primary. Like I said earlier, I'm always very interested in training bodies, but also training brains of being a thinking dancer. Also because you come into a world where you have choreographers that walk into a door and they will not necessarily be interested in the ability of what you do, because clearly you can do the stuff, but it's also on how you can think about a choreography or improvise. And I think that's kind of the new way of also teaching, that you're going to have to use your brain a little bit more, because you're going to be having an access of range of choreography that we've never seen before. And so as a teacher, you want to be able to get them ready for that they can also think, they can also ask questions, they can also be who they are respectfully of who is in front, but being able to think. So I think for me, the ultimate goal is to have a healthy, sound mind and body going through that, you know, very tough education of getting your body in that ballet shape.